Und damit ein herzliches Willkommen zurück bei The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. Ich bin immer noch baff von der letzten Folge, von der letzten Aufnahmesession. Ich sag's wie es ist, ich bin immer noch baff. Kazuma ist am Leben. Er hat sein Gedächtnis verloren und jetzt ist es wieder da. Und sein Vater ist der Professor, der Massenmörder, der Barock van Siegs Bruder umgebracht hat. Ein Japaner, weshalb Barock van Siegs Japaner nicht so gerne mag. Und was war der letzte Fall? Grandios, sag ich euch. Grandios war der letzte Fall. Einfach von vorne bis hinten. Erstmal die Great Exhibition war ein gutes Setting, aber letztendlich hat er sich gar nicht mehr groß um die große Ausstellung gedreht, sondern um den Professor, um den Apprentice, der später als Kazuma revealed wurde, um Barock van Siegs, der endlich eine Backstory erhalten hat, die auch noch sehr spannend ist, um einen Massenmörder, um Wachsfiguren. Was war da los? Um Gravity, um Schwerkraft. Diese Deduktion von Sherlock Holmes war auch unglaublich. Also ich bin immer noch vollkommen baff von der letzten Episode. Ist, denke ich mal, ich muss nochmal drüber schlafen, vielleicht auch noch häufiger, aber Stand jetzt ist es wirklich mit sogar einer meiner Lieblings-Ace Attorney Fälle. Und sei es nur um die Twists am Ende. Aber die Charaktere waren auch cool. Die zwei Zeugen, die da waren, der Italiener, der Deutsche, beziehungsweise der aus Böhmen kommt, Bohemia, und die Madame Tussauds. Großartig Wachsfiguren, coole Anspielung an Madame Tussauds. Dann hatten wir Sherlock Holmes, wie gesagt, seine Deduktion. Sherlock Holmes hat uns was verheimlicht. Er hat nämlich damals deduziert, dass Kazuma tot ist. Aber Kazuma ist gar nicht tot. Kazuma ist gegangen, hat die Wachsfigur von seinem Vater auseinandergeschnitten und dann ist er gegangen. Und der Professor Mikotoba war mit Kazumas Vater in England, als der dann plötzlich Massenmorde begangen hat. Und, ich weiß gar nicht, was ich alles noch sagen soll. Es war einfach großartig, deswegen weiß ich jetzt gar nicht, was ich überhaupt noch erwarten soll. Was ich jetzt überhaupt noch von den letzten zwei Fällen erwarten soll. Ich möchte mehr von Kazuma sehen, ich möchte noch ein bisschen mehr wissen, was seine Mission jetzt in England ist. Barock wäre auch cool, noch ein bisschen mehr über Kazumas Vater vielleicht zu erfahren, den Professor, der die Leute umgebracht hat. Aber ansonsten, der letzte Fall war einfach großartig, ja? Und ich weiß nicht, was ich jetzt noch erwarten soll. Ob jetzt noch mehr Großartigkeit kommt oder ob es jetzt abflacht, was auch überhaupt nicht schlimm wäre. Das Spiel allgemein erzählt tolle Geschichten. Aber der letzte Fall war wirklich outstanding. Und ich weiß nicht. Ich fanboy hier, glaube ich, gerade schon zu viel rum. Ich hoffe, ihr habt es genauso gesehen, dass der wirklich outstanding war. Und ich würde sagen, wir spielen jetzt einfach weiter. Denn wir haben jetzt die 4. Episode, Twisted Karma and His Last Bow, Investigation Part 1. Ich bin sehr gespannt, also verbogenes Karma und seine letzte Verbeugung quasi, wenn ich es richtig übersetze. Kann sein, dass ich es auch falsch übersetze. Aber ja, damit fangen wir jetzt an und mal gucken, was uns jetzt noch erwartet. Ich bin gespannt. Let's go. Episode 4. Twisted Karma and His Last Bow.
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder. An executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. and a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow. For our adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
Eight days after that earth-shattering trial and Kazuma regaining his memory. We were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. Okay, 1st November, 10:24 AM, Great Waterloo Hotel foyer. Professor Mikotoba is due to arrive at any moment. Oh, eyes up! Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time. Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised. The truth about Kazuma-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew? Denk ich mal, oder? That he was actually the mass murderer, the professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they? Yes, that's true. Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Kazuma going missing in Hong Kong as well? That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it. That probably means he knows then. About Kazuma showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Ja, der Mikotoba weiß auch mehr, als er weiß. Ah, there she is! Oh, Father! Hello, Susato, how are you? Und ist das der Richter? Die sehen ja sehr an England angepasst aus. I'm very well, thank you. We are delighted you've arrived safe and sound. Hello, Mr. Nagodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here. Oh no, not at all. It's my pleasure. We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know? The news has crossed the seas, das ist doch der Richter. It has. I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Kurze Appreciation von seinem Outfit, diese Knöpfe, die er da hat, das ist im echten Ace Attorney, ist das die Badge von Phoenix, die Anwaltsmarke, so sieht die aus. Im echt, das ist auch echtes Ace Attorney, in der Trilogie. In den Phoenix Wright Spielen, sagen wir so. I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain. Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? And why do I feel as though I've seen him before? Das ist der Richter. I take it from your expression that you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Sushiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes. A firm tap? What? Here we go then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Guilty! Ah! Oh! You are... Wie genial eigentlich auch schon wieder. Wie genial eigentlich auch schon wieder, mal den Richter auch als Charakter außerhalb des Courtrooms zu sehen. Außerhalb des Gerichtssaals. The court will now hear the trial of your Nagodo. Your Excellency! Hello, Judge Goku, how are you? It's been a long time. Ha 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 ha! Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty! Ha 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 ha! Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time. So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Though really, I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Sushiro? What are you talking about, Eugene? Ha 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 ha! Of course, Judge Goku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who 16 years ago came to London with Kazuma's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar. Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at this border took rather a lot of time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? Ha! I knew you were jealous. Ha 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 ha! Zoe? Ministerial status? Yes, didn't you know? Sushiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Kazuma's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged! Ha 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 ha! Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. Okay, also ist der quasi der Außenminister von Japan. Ah, yes, now, Naruhodo. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday. Oh, you did? It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy. Yes, could you tell us any more about it? Whew, okay. Converse, your journey from Japan, ja moin. So, how was the voyage here? Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time, we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience. Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris? We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow. It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father. It's thanks to Sushiro here. 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited, and I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with a professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No, there's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back. Kazuma's father, I suppose. Kazuma's father. The professor. The killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy. Was actually Kazuma's father, wasn't he? That's correct. Genshin Asogi. Genshin? Genshin Impact? Ja moin. Genshin. He knew, I presume. Father. Yes, He was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland. But what about Kazuma? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father? No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts. Oh, why? As you know, I tried to guide Kazuma growing up as if he were my own son. Then one day, he came to my office at the university and said, I've decided, I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Do you think he wanted to come here to investigate his father's death? I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I did know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him. Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually. Oh, what? Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Kazuma since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zieks. What? What? That's news to us! So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then. Kazuma's reappearance. As you know, we both thought Kazuma had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, father? In actual fact, no. What I did know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive, and here in London, you say? I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now. Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia. What? Amnesia? When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were. I see. He only regained his memory 8 days ago. This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. Aber die wissen doch auch mehr, als sie ausgeben. Das kannst du mir nicht erzählen. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently. I wonder how Kazuma's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him? Your time in Britain. That began 16 years ago. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin Azogi and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you. 16 years ago, things were tough for the generation. Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at Yumei University at the time. You know, young lady? Yes, grandmother told me. He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy, practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground. Not more talk of graves. Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons. Not my cup of tea at all. Do you remember that Scottish prison governor? Caden his name was. He was a good man. 9? I don't remember. Asol, Goku. Yes, but then of course in our 6 years here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested, for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at the secret hearing and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after the trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long. I called for the porter then. Just wait here. So Sato-san's gone off at 1. I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow. Yes, of course. It must be a big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck. Nagodo. I hope you'll keep an eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her as you obviously have been. Oh no, I mean, if anyone's looking after anyone, it's her looking after me. Well, I do appreciate your being there for her. After all, I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down. Sorry? What do you mean? Well, it was 16 years ago that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born. Yes, I heard. The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life, but... well, sadly it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life too. Oh yes, Susato-san hinted at something like that. It was a rather turbulent time at home. Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Sushiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say. I completely understand, Professor. Ah, one other thing, Mr. Naruhodo. Oder ohne Mr. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you. Oh, really? Of course. What can I do for you? Well, the thing is, I'm so sorry that it took so long. Miss Susato und der Kutschenfahrer. Now then, allow us to take your bags. Allow me to take your bags. Oder der Porter? Aber der sieht genauso aus wie der Kutschenfahrer, der in der Jury schon mal saß. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir. That machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe. Quite right, sir. Just 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir. Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense. Ah, yes, of course. Lol. I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo sah ja gar nicht irgendwie aus, als ob ihm das irgendwie awkward wäre oder so. It's really made father very happy, I think. Oh, well, I am pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoma was about to ask me something. Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us. Yes, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Kazuma though. Perhaps I try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Yo, okay. I'd like to thank you for coming with me. I really made father very happy, I think. Okay. Dann a new location has been added. Nagodo's legal consultancy. Been placed more relaxed than anywhere else. I believe Iris has tea waiting for us, Mr. Naruhodo. Dann gehen wir doch erstmal Tee trinken. So, da sind wir.